Okay. This on. Okay, this is our Chapter 4 assessment review. I'm going to start with this video with number 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, which from our Chapter 4 starts with Section 4.1, the parallel and perpendicular line information started in Section 4.3. These are also on page 226 at the chapter review in our book. But let's just start with number 4, which these were being asked to write the slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b of the equation with the given characteristics. Now, some of these, there's less work involved. Like number 4, there isn't much going on here because they already give us the slope, which is our m, and the y-intercept, which is our b, also known as the starting point. So this one is reasonably simple. Take our m, 1/4, can't forget the x, and our b is 2. Done. Y equals 1/4 x plus 2. The next one, they give us the slope, -3/2. I'm going to move to paper on this because I might need more room. And they give us a point that this line passes through. Okay, so far we have this. Y equals -3/2x. We don't know what b is. We only know this point, which is an x and a y, that we can plug into this equation and solve for b. Actually, I think I'll do this one right over here. So let's plug in -4 and 7 for our x and y. So this is 7, and we got -3 not 3/3, 3/2 times -4 plus b. So here's bringing back skills that you've had for a few years now, multiplying a fraction times a whole number. I know you have a calculator to check this, but over here we got 3/2 times -4 gives me a -12, a +12 over 2, which is 6. So I have 7 equals 6 plus b. One step left. Subtract 6 from both sides to get b alone. We have 1 equals a b. So our equation of this line is y equals -3/2x plus 1. And my phone is ringing. Okay, so I know I got interrupted with a phone call, so here I am at number 6 from your review, which is same directions that we were looking at. Write the slope-intercept form of the equation with the given characteristics. Number 6, all they give us is 2 points. I'm going to move to a piece of paper here. So we have to write y equals mx plus b form of this line that passes through these 2 points. So the first thing we have to do is find the slope, our m. So I'm going to move on over to here. So number 6, and the 2 points are -2, 1, and 2, -5. So we have to do the slope formula, which is m equals y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. I also showed you a way, like kind of a shortcut, if you just stack these and put them in a table and find your change in your y and divide it by your change in your x. A lot of you seem to like this better. Just keeping in mind, this is x1, this is y1, this is x2, this is y2. So let's just set that up. So we have -5 minus 1 divided by 2 minus a minus, which is a plus 2, which gives me -6 over 4, which can be simplified to a -3/2. So my m is -3/2. So this is going to be a line that is going down because it's negative. My slope's negative, so it's going to be going, the rise is actually going down 3 every 2 that it goes over. Down 3/2. Okay, so that's the beginning of this problem. So we have y equals negative 3 over 2x plus b. We don't know what b is, looking back at our 2 points, because if we have a point that has 0 for x, that would help us out, but we don't have that. So now what we need to do is pick one of these points and plug it in for x and y, and then we solve for b. I would pick the first one just because it has 1, which is easier to work with. So I'm going to plug in 1 and negative 2, 1 for y, so I'm going to have 1. And then over here, I'm going to have negative 2 for my x. I'm going to keep using my pencil, so equals negative 3 over 2 plus b. So here we are with this again, negative 3 over 2 times negative 2. We can think of this like this, and then we just multiply our numerators, multiply our denominators. That's positive 6 over 2, which is 3. So this equals 3, so we have 1 equals 3 plus b. One step left. We got to subtract 3 from both sides to get this b alone. This is negative 2 equals b. So now we have that, and we have this, which is our m. And so now we can write the equation of the line. Y equals negative 3 over 2 x plus negative 2, or minus 2 is how I will write it. But this is certainly okay. 3 over 2x plus negative 2, that's the same thing. Nothing wrong with that either. This is a little bit more, as you get older, you're going to see this a lot more than you see it this way. Okay, moving on to number 7. This is where they get a little bit harder, I think, anyway, dealing with parallel and perpendicular lines. Let me slide this up. Actually, let me just move to another page and come up to the top. Number 7, which is asking you to write the equation to the line that's parallel to y equals negative 3x plus 5 that passes through the point negative 4, 5. Remember, lines that are parallel never intersect, and if they're parallel, that means that their steepness is the same, which is telling me that they have the same slope. So we're going to take the equation y equals negative 3x plus 5. Passes through this point. So what we're going to do is we're going to write this new equation by starting like this, because we know they have the same slope. So I know this part of the new equation that's parallel to this line is going to start the same way because they have the same slope. What we don't know is the y-intercept. So what we're going to do is we put b, take that 5 out, we'll put b right here, and then we're going to go to our point, negative 4, 5, and we're going to plug it in and solve for b. So let's do that. So we got 5 equals negative 3 times negative 4 plus b. So we're going to have 5 equals positive 12 plus b. Finishing the equation, subtract 12 from both sides. 5 minus 12 is a negative 7 equals b. There's my y-intercept for the new equation, which is going to be y equals negative 3x minus 7. So this line and this line are parallel to each other. Let me go right through, and this one goes through that point. Okay, last one for this little session. I'm going to go to number 8, which is perpendicular. And if you recall, lines that are perpendicular to each other, their slopes are the opposite reciprocal. So in this one here, we have the equation y equals 1/2 x minus 8. And we want to write the line that is perpendicular to this, that passes through the point 7, negative 6. Okay, so I know that the slope of the perpendicular line is going to be the opposite reciprocal of this. So since this is positive, I know it's going to be negative, and the reciprocal of 1 over 2, or 1/2, is 2 over 1, or just 2. So I know that we have this to start with. Whoa, sorry. So what you're going to do now is do the same thing we've been doing. We're going to take this point. Here's our x. Here's our y. You're going to plug in x and y, solve for b. Then we'll have our new equation. So here we have negative 6 equals, and that's my y from the point that they gave us, negative 2, parenthesis, I'm going to multiply that by 7, plus b. Okay, so we got negative 6. This negative 2 times 7 is negative 14 plus b. So one step left. We got to subtract, add 14 to both sides. Add 14, add 14. That equals 0. Negative 6 plus 14 is going to be a positive 8 equals b. So there's my y-intercept that we're going to put up in this equation right here. So the equation that's perpendicular to this line is going to be y equals negative 2x plus 8. A lot of work, but a lot of work that you've done. Okay, so I'm going to continue with these, but I'm going to stop this video before I make a new one. So good luck.